Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside Genie, where we'll be looking today at two race meetings. This morning, to my surprise, when I looked at the card, I saw that we have two race meetings today. Therefore, I'm running a little bit late. I apologize for that. We have a race meeting at Greyville starting at 12 o'clock, and then we have a meeting at Kenilworth starting at 13:50. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a combined video for both Greyville and Kenilworth. For those persons who are signing up for the first time or listening first time to our video, what Outsider Genie does is we do form analysis, and through our form analysis, we give you outsider selections, which you add to your own selections, and by adding them to your own selections, you can then catch the bigger payouts. The way I do my videos is I give you my outright selection. That is the selection that I think is going to win the race. And then I give you two outsider selections in no particular order. And that is the selection that you can add on with the outright selection to your selection and trying to catch the bigger dividends should those selections arrive. Then I also offer a daily subscription service where I give you specific numbers, base bets, value bets. I give you trifectas, quartets, pick six, and PA selections, and they often do arrive and giving you a chance to win some real good money, because at the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to win money. So I'm going to start right away because this is two videos. It's going to be a little bit longer than normal, so I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. I know some of you are on holiday. Oh, yes, while talking about that, I just want to please also tell that tomorrow will be my last day that I'm going to do selections for this week. Friday is Christmas Day, and then I'm just going to take off 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. I've got my family, my children here, and I just want to spend a bit of time with them. And so I thought if I can just take a break for 2 days, and then I'll be back on Monday, and then we can go on again. So tomorrow, this is the second last video, so tomorrow will be the last one for this week, and then we can all go and enjoy Christmas and Christmas weekend, and then bang, we're going to be back on Monday trying to win some money. I hope that will be in order with all of you. So we kick off with the maiden plate on the poly over 1200 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting as follows. Number 5, Duchess of Cornwall, 28 to 10. Loving the Victory, 9 to 2. Casadero, 9 to 2. 5 to 1. Vavicious, Cap Purit's Heart, 8 to 1. Wiley's Last, 16 to 1. Never Ending Love, 18 to 1. Zero, 18 to 1. 20, free to longer, and longer the rest. So here, my first selection is number 2. That is Loving the Victory. I see Lucky Odolagos has got two runners, and I'm sure, and even Kumala is riding here where he's not normally riding in a towel these days, and I'm sure he's not bringing this horse down for the scenery, and he must feel that this horse on the poly might have a very good chance. This horse has run some decent races, except for his last race. I don't know what happened there, but let's just ignore that race for the moment. And but before that, I had some very decent runs, one or two decent runs, not far behind. And I think Loving the Victory, yes, today is here today to mean business. The favorite here is number. I want to make sure who the favorite is here. I forgot now for a moment. So number 5, yeah, I'll look at that now. Okay, so my outsider selections is number 6, which is Never Ending Love. Never Ending Love did run over the weekend, and it ran 6.9 lengths behind Beckoning Beauty, but that was on the turf. Now back in the poly where it ran a nice race previously, it's getting the -2.5. So make sure you include Never Ending Love in all your calculations. My other outsider selection is number 8. Number 8 is Capulet's Heart. Muzieni on board. Muzieni is riding well. This horse has had a few decent runs, and I'm sure we'll be visiting the winner's box, the number 1 box, shortly. Then the favorite is number 5. Number 5, unfortunately, I'm this is a little bit scared. This Duchess of Cornwall. This horse never put two good runs together in a row, but did run well last time out on the poly, and obviously do have a chance. But I'm looking for the for number 2 to go in here. So let's move on to race number 2. Race number 2 is another maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1400 meters. The betting as follows. The favorite here, Miss Texas, Even Money, Amble E92, Bedra 7-1, 7-1, Justin Wind, Love of London 8-1, 14-1, and longer the rest. Here, my first selection is number 7, which is Amble In. Amble In for me, that running is improving nicely. Last time I did run over the 1400 meters and was just hanging out late, and but ran on well, and I think this horse is improving sort and can definitely bother the favorite, which is number Miss Texas here, number 5. Also ran in reasonable lace behind Ooms and Doozy, and it do look like the form behind Ooms and Doozy is going to be nice form, so definitely not without a chance. Then my outsider selections in this race is number 8, Miss Emblem. Miss Emblem all the way from Joburg for Fani Bronkhorst. I'm sure he's sending the horse here because he feels this horse can improve on the poly. So definitely not to left out. Last time out did ran on the poly and ran improved race, but was hanging out in late. But if you have a look, you'll see in that race already 5 runners and 2 winners. So it was a relatively strong maiden plate, and I do think Miss Emblem in with a chance today. My other outsider selection is number 9, which is Love of London. It's also an ex-Joburg horse, and I feel today this horse ran behind Desert Pride. Desert Pride has come out to win again, so definitely Love of London in with a chance, I would think. So let's move on to race number 3. Race number 3 is a maiden plate over 49 meters for fillies and mares. Let's have a look at the beating. Here the betting as follows. Number 3, My Big Vision 2-1, Good Girl 9-2, Rock Flight 5-1, 10 Perfect Display 7-1, Duchess Bernadette 19-2, and Boogie Shoes 19-2, 15-1, and Longer the Rest, Pearl of Africa, and Longer the Rest. So here in race 3, my first selection is number 2. Number 2 being Rock Flight. I really like the look of Rock Flight. I also liked him last time out. This horse is a half sister to Irish Flame. The Dan Clock the Rock has produced a number of winners, and I think the further this horse goes, the further it will be. The 1400 meter might even be a little bit too sharp, but it was there and thereabouts last time out on the poly over 600 meters, and I think from draw 2 today, Rock Flight a huge runner in my eyes. Then here's a favorite, number 3, My Big Vision. He did ran a nice first race, and one would look for him to fire, to follow up. Was in front of Rock Flight, but Rock Flight since then has had another run, and I see the form is also strongly 9 runners, 2 winners. So it looks like this could be fight out between 2 and 3. My outsider selections here is number 7, which is a Duchess of Bernadette, another Hoedelakers inmate bringing all the way from Gauteng. Looking at the breeding, I'm sure that this horse will enjoy the poly, and definitely a horse that you need to include in all your selections. Number 8, Boogie Two Shoes or Boogie Shoes, has had a few runners and always there and thereabouts. So certainly over the longer distance, the first time she's going a little bit longer distance, and I think that would suit Boogie Shoes not to be left out. Another horse that I think you must also watch and not leave out of your calculations is number 9, Pearl of Africa. Pearl of Africa has had 1 run on the poly and 2 runs on the turf. Both her runs on the turf wasn't good, but her run on the poly was definitely an improvement. So maybe this horse might want to favor the poly. So keep in mind under that and put number 9 in all of your calculations. Then we move on to race number 4, which is a Felicia Mayor's handicap, 77 Class C, average merit rate at 75. And let's here look at race 4. Race 4, number 7, Fantastic Dame, 23-10, Scarlet Chill 9-2, 5-1 Passivity, Herein After 7-1, Susie Wu 8-1, 8-1 Ice Imperial 9-1, and Longer the Rest. Let's have a look at my selections in race 4. My selections as follows. Number 7 is Futuristic Dame, Genie again for Nathan Kotson. This horse did win last time out, and it won. I think it won easily than the margin suggest. I watched the race, and Futuristic wasn't like there, and the next moment it was there. It was winning, going away, and I think today will be the same. Just something that I do notice that lately these master of my fates are definitely winning races, so definitely Futuristic Dame one to follow. My outsider selections is number 4, which is Year and After. Year and After, a young horse, but I think a horse that can improve and definitely has had some decent races after the maiden, and definitely a horse that you cannot leave out of everything. You need to include, because I do feel Year and After is also going to run a very forward race today. And my other outsider selection is number 10, which is Fire Fairy, getting 57.5 minus 2.5. Has also been running there and thereabouts, and as and I think although up in class a little bit today, can with this lighter weight can definitely run an improved race and can definitely be there when the photos are taken. So let's move down to race number 5, which is a Fillies and Mares 86 handicap, Class C, average merit rate of 81. I do notice a lot of races today for Fillies and Mares. Here we have the favorite number 8, a Flaming Beauty, All's Flaming Beauty, Al's Flaming Beauty, 5 to 2, Hop, Skip and Jump, 28 to 10, Flashy Katerina, 4 to 1, Nashima, 11 to 2, Vaz, 7 to 2, Beat It, 9 to 1, Flaming Lax, 20 to 1, Scratch number 5, Deep 4th. And here in this race, my selection is number 4, which is Deep Beat It, Golf Fuller Stable, or having a good run. The horse is getting minus 2.5. As you can see here, they're running now in a C81. This horse has run in some huge races here in a 98 to 87. Has come down in a merit rated from a 90 to a 78. And I'm thinking that will be to his advantage. Has been running places last time. Yeah, it ran just behind Flashy Arena. And if the white turnaround we should finish in front of Flashy Arena, which is one of the favorites. And I think with the Golf Fuller stable in form, definitely watch out for this. This jockey is very competent. So I think this 5-year-old Jackson May is going to give them a run for their money. My outsider selections here is number 1, which is Vaz. Vaz is also a horse, is also getting the minus 4, so only carrying 50 kilograms, and has also been running there and thereabouts, although in lower divisions. But that line up here a few runs back in an average mean rate at 84. Wasn't disgraced, finishing under 2 lengths behind Lanier. And I think with the minus 4 today, Vaz can definitely be a contender in this race. And also Naoshima. Naoshima is now in a hat-trick. Look, another Master of Fate by Western Winter Mare. Also up in class, but the horse is running well. Has run against some stronger before and wasn't disgraced. So I'm sure the number 2, Naoshima, can definitely try and make it 3 in a row. The favorite here, let's have a look at the favorite. The favorite is drawn 8. All's Flaming Beauty. Also running, has always run against some decent opposition. I see Mr. Moodley is riding for Snape quite often these days. Yeah, also in with a chance, but not unbeatable. Then we move on to race number 6. Race number 6 is 1,000 meters, merit rated 75 handicap, Class D, average merit rated 70. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting is as follows. Number 11, Valiante, 33 to 10. Capitiana 4 to 1, Alfonso Spagoni 4 to 1, Bravo Zulu 11 to 2, See My Vision 7 to 1, Yas 8 to 1, Majorca Palace 10 to 1, Hampton Court 12 to 1, 22 to 1, and better the rest. So here in this race, my first selection in race 6 is number 3. That is another Odelakis inmate. This Capitina did show some promise earlier in her career, but hasn't trained on. The merit rating down from a 90 to a 73. Has been running against very strong opposition in in Gauteng, Winter Watch, and Boylan, Silver Talent, Before the Dawn, all of them very good horses now coming down to the poly. And I think Capitana, I'm expecting this horse to run a huge race today here on the poly. My outsider selections is number 4, Alfonso Spigoni, also a horse that has been running well and I do feel uh, do have a very good chance in this field today, and has been running also against a little bit stronger here and there, and wasn't disgraced. So number 4, I think a horse that you can improve in all your selections, including all your selections. Then my other outsider selection is number 8, Majorca Palace. It's a 3-year-old. It only had 3 runs. Did win his first race at Fairview. Has now relocated with Mr. Hewitson. Lyle Hewitson on board, and I'm looking for this horse to also improve on the poly. Maybe not for a win, but definitely a horse that you want to include in your quartets and trifectas. So now, and then here we have number 11, Valiante, the favorite, getting -2.5. The draw might be a bit of a concern, but also in with a chance, has been running nice races also against a little bit stronger years. He ran in 81 and he in 84, getting -2.5. So number 11, definitely in with a shout, a very open race. Then we move on to race number 7, which is a 1600 meters, and a merit rate at 97, Class B average merit rate at 93. And here we have number 1, Guru's Pride, 33 to 10, Caliente, 33 to 10, 11 to 3, Trip to Africa, Born to Perform, 7 to 1, Peaceful Day, 7 to 1, African Sunrise, 10 to 1, Dr. Ulrich, 10 to 1, and scratch number 5, 40 to 1, and longer the rest. In this race, my strong first selection is number 1, Good's Pride. This horse absolutely loved the poly. Has had 6 runs, 4 wins, course and distance, 2 runs, 2 wins, unbeatable, drawn 1, back on the poly. And I think this horse will be hard to beat on this course today and distance. So therefore, my strong selection this race, number 1, Guru. Outsider selections, number 2, Born to Perform. He's a horse that's always there and thereabouts, but has got a habit of not jumping with the field, and is always will have to make up some ground. But on his day, if he really feels that he wants to run, he will definitely demolish this field. Course and distance, 3 runs, 2 wins. So definitely a horse that you cannot leave out of any of your calculations. Then here's my other outsider selection is number 8, Trip to Africa. Trip to Africa did surprise last time. I did gave it as an outsider selection and it won duly at 20 to 1, getting the -2.5 today. Can definitely also be involved in a finish. Also, a horse that you need to include in all your play. Then we move on to race number 8, which is a Fillies and Mares 69 handicap Fillies and Mares, Class D, average merit rate at 64. And here we have the look at the favorite is number 1, 5 to 2, Shastina, Wishful Girl, and 4 to 1, 8 to 1, 9 to 2, number 8, Tombola, Chic Storm, 10 to 1, Tic Tac, 12 to 1, or Tack It Twice, 12 to 1, Dark Mistress, 12 to 1, 12 to 1, Super Fluke, and 16 to 1, and longer the rest. And here my first selection is the favorite, number 1. This horse is very, very well bred. A dynasty by Rakeen May, well bred. Last time out, one on a coconut. Very easy start to finish over the 1600 meters. I don't think the 1600 meters will be a problem. That one over 1700 meters on the poly. Start to finish, jump from draw 7 today from draw 1. And I just feel that this Shatina won so well that she's going to be too strong for this field. My outsider selection in this race is number 10, which is Chic Storm. Chic Storm also has been running relatively good races here and there. 2 runs back on the poly, ran behind Tombola, and I think will run a huge race again. My outsider selection, other outsider number 11, Super Fluke, also was often placed on the poly, but from draw 11, which can be a little bit of a problem. But I also think this horse in with a huge chance. So that brings us to the end of our preview for Greyville. We'll now move over to the preview for Kenilworth. The first race is a juvenile plate, which I'm not going to cover. So we're going to start our preview at race number 2, which is the merit at 96 handicap over 1,000 meters. Here's the betting as follows. Sorry about that. I'm just waiting for this to open the betting. Here's the betting race number 2. Joseph Barry 3-1. Mr. Cobbs 3-1. Skidoo 33-10. El Braga 7-2. Mr. Vargas 4-1. 33-1 Brave Tiger. So let's have a look at race number 2, where my first selection is actually number 2, Skidoo. You'll see that Skidoo has got some form behind El Braga. No laying up. Did beat number 1 Master Varga before. No laying up. And I think Skidoo today is due to run a huge race. At the beginning of the year, did win 3 races, all of them over 1,000 meters. And there's a small field. I think number 2 Skidoo with a huge chance. I've only picked one outside selection and been to the small field, and that's number 5 El Braga. Solomon's on board. Also, a horse that's been running good lately, but sometimes battling to put 2 good races in a row together. But I think today in this small field, El Braga is also definitely going to make them run, carrying only 52 kilograms. The other also chances, Joseph Barry, a 3-year-old, Captain L, has run against some huge, useful opposition, but was comprehensively beaten by Committee Ding. And I think that some of the older horses might be too strong. Even I give Mr. Vargas a huge chance in this race. Definitely for Rhee and Snape combination, not to be left out. Then move on to race number 3, which is maiden plate over 1,200 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Sorry, wrong race. Let me just go there. Race number 3, his choice 5-2, Light of My Life 4-1, Captain Who 4-1, Gem Rock 10-1, 10-1 Picket Back Alley, Old Terry, Old Tawny 12-1, 14-1, and longer the rest. Please note there are a number of first timers in this race. Watch the betting. Here, my first selection is number 1, his choice, very well drawn. Grant Van Niekerk on board, and I think his choice definitely in with a huge chance. Was beaten by Shangan over half a length last time. Shangan came with a big reputation and then ran in well behind Irish Morning, and I think today he's a choice, definitely a huge chance in this race. Outsider selections is number 11. Number 11 is Old Tony, Dean Kannemeyer, Grand Bear, who won his first great on Saturday. Good luck to him, and I really wish him well. This horse finished quite steady progress, second fastest 400 to finish in his first outing. And so did number 12, Picket Back Belly. They both run in the same race, both of them running on, and number 12 was the fastest 400 to finish, and number 11 was the second fastest 400 to finish. And I think they meet again today, and this might be that number 11 will be better placed, and he'll be running at the end they both will be running on towards the end at the favorite, number 1, his choice. So let's move on to race number 4. Race number 4 is a maiden plate over 1,700 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here's number 4, High Noon, Even Money, Grand Region 17-10, Tail of Us 12-1, 12-1, Big Finker 14-1, and longer the rest. Yes, here Mr. 4, High Noon, is my first selection. He was beaten last time out when it was heavily back, but I did like Gaelic Tribe that day, and I did say I think Gaelic Tribe will probably be the favorite. There's not a lot of strong form, but yeah, number 4, Heinun definitely a huge runner, but can definitely expect some opposition from number 5, Grand Region, Furry and Snape. My outsider selections in this race is number 6, Big Finker, also a Snape inmate, Robert Carty riding, and he has upset the apple cart quite a few times, where he was riding the number 2 choice in the race of this Snape stable and then landing up the winner. And number 3, number 6, Big Finger, this ran third behind Master of Power. Last time out, lost length to the start, but if you can get a good start today, can probably be involved in the finish. My other outsider selection is number 9, Lady Isabella, Pete Buerta. Really quite why this horse went to the front last time out, but got run out of it. But I think today, if they can restrain the horse a little bit and let it then run on, might also be a huge runner in this race. So let's now move on to race number 5, which is a Mares 89 divided handicap, 1,000 meters class B, average merit rate at 85. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting being number 7, Kitty Chat 15 to 10, Lilac Sensation 5 to 1, 50 Shades of Dark at 13 to 2, 7 to 1, Social Butterfly Iris 15 to 2, and Cotard 15 to 2, Corrad 16 to 1, and longer the rest. Yes, here my second favorite is my choice is number 7, which is Kitty Cat Chat. I also predicted last time out that this horse will win, and it duly won, but it was backing from 7 to 1 to 14 to 10, and it won on a coconut, and I think today will not be different. I think this horse is different class pressed by press statement out of a fast and famous mare, and I'm looking for Anton Marcus to just sit in a jockey on the horse and win going away. My outsider selections in this race is number 3, which is the Sonic Burst. I really like the look of Sonic Burst. He won his first. He won his maiden by 4.25. Was then ran third behind Bad Habit. Not a bad race, and has been there and thereabouts. I think last time out, his last 2 runs, the 1500 and the 1400, being too far. Today, back over the distance that I think would suit him. So do include in all your bets. Definitely a horse that has got a potential to upset in this race. My other horse, my outsider is number 5, Irish. Also, again, Irish, I did give last time out when it beat Gerard, and before that didn't run badly. Also, a horse I think with a potential, so definitely keep an eye open. You might even want to consider taking the. It will be not the same. It's not the same stable, but the same ownership. Number 5 and number 7 might be a nice exector to take in this race. Then here we have number 8, Gerard, getting minus 2.5 at 50 kilograms. I'm definitely in with a chance. But I do feel that my first selection is going to be too strong for them. Also, number 9, Nusa Princess, put in your lives in your back end of your quartet. I think also a nice little horse. I did say last time out I liked it. It ran 4th behind Booms and Daisy. Can be involved again. And then here we have Chili Winter, also horse that produce a nice run now and then, but I think there are stronger runners in this race today. So then let's move on to race number 6, which is a merit rated 83 divided handicap over 1600 meters class C, average merit rating 81. Let's have a look at the betting race 6 in Kenilworth. Here we have number 7, Ottoman Empire, 18 to 10, Bereave 4 to 1, Fire Alley 92 times New Roman 6 to 1, Destin 10 to 1, 10 to 1, Irish Tractor, Triple Jet 16 to 1, and 20 to 5, and longer the race, scratch number 7 and 8. I think we are going to have a nice race between Ottoman Empire and Bereave, and my selection is number 5, Bereave. Did run on last time really nicely behind Jet Dog, and Jet Dog did run well this weekend in the Guineas, so that makes that form a little bit stronger. And I do think that the 1600 meters will suit this horse. And he was green, stayed on, and I think will run a huge race today. Just want to get back to Ottoman Empire, who's done nothing wrong. This horse has also got strong form, did win its first 2 races and then got beaten in the future. Captain Flinders, and also in that race was Cloud Atlas, who also ran behind Bulgarian and Rainbow Reach the other day. So that makes this horse form strong. Definitely, we're not without a chance, can definitely be involved in, well, I think will be involved in a finish. And then my other outsider selections for this race is number 9, Triple Jet. Triple Jet also for me when it won his maiden, won a nice maiden, now getting a minus 2.5, only carrying 51. I think this race behind Seeking the Stars, Buchanan Knoll was drawn 14 out of 16. Never had a chance. They dropped it out, and yeah, it didn't seem to run on. So let's ignore that run. But based on previous runs, I think Triple Jet can be involved in the finish as number 10 times Roman, who also comes with a big reputation and has been running a few places after winning his maiden. And I do feel with Grant van die Kerk on board, can be definitely also involved in the finish. So let's move on to race number 7. Race number 7 is a merit rated 97 divided handicap, class D, average merit rating 92. Let's have a look at the betting here at race number 7. We number 2, Knights Templar is the favorite, 4 to 1, Arctic Drift 9 to 2, Southern Star 5 to 1, Shaboom 13 to 2, Fort Agopian 7 to 1, 18 to 1, and longer the rest. And here my first selection is the bottom weight, number 11, Shaboom. I think Shaboom is only carrying today, is carrying 50, carrying 50 and a half kilograms. And this horse is going to make them run. Yeah, I think this horse is much better than his forms suggest. Has been running against some top horses here. And I do feel that Shaboom today, with this lightweight carrying, is definitely going to make them run. Then my outsider selections is number 6, which is Rocking Ringo. Rocking Ringo does not know how to run a bad race. It's always there. Unfortunately, drawn 11, and that might count against him today. But otherwise, I think Rocking Ringo would also be one of the horses involved in the finish, as with my other outsider selection, which is number 10, Fort Agopian. This horse has run some nice races lately, and I think will definitely be in the firing line today. A little bit down in class. So definitely number 10, Fort Agopian, not to be left out of your calculations. Yeah, there is some horses with chances in this race. The favorite, number 2, Knights Templar, always Justin Snape and Richard Furry, always a factor. This horse has also been running on and against some decent oppositions. So definitely number 2, not without a chance. Number 3, Camelot, is coming off a year's rest and maybe would need to run. Arctic Jeff did win last time out and can follow up. Aldo de Meyer from draw 1, definitely a contender. So all in all, a little bit of an open race uh, today. And now we get to the race number 8, which is a maiden plate over the 1600 meters. The betting as follows. Number 4, Glitter in the Air 3 to 1, Watching a Dream 4 to 1, Imperial Dream 6 to 1, Far Out 6 to 1, Himes Bennett 9 to 1, French Declaration 12 to 1, Midnight Twist 14 to 1, 16 to 1, and longer the rest. Here, my first selection is number 12. Number 12 being French Declaration. And this horse from, it's a daughter from Piero by Hennessy May. That run in her first race over 1,400, now 1,600 meters. But the horse battled, I think, needed time to find her feet. And I think if you have a look here at the time, 22.5, second faster to 400 meters. I really like the look of the horse running on. And I think after the second race today, after 100 days race, will be much better equipped to run. And I do feel French Declaration today at 10 to 1 definitely going to be a hard horse to beat in this field today. My outsider selections being number 2. Number 2 is a Far Out. Also a horse that's improving. Did run a second behind, so flawless last time out. And I feel has got a chance to follow up on that. Definitely not without a prayer. My other outsider selection is number 5, Himes Vent. Did run a nice third behind Kuning in a reasonably good time. And last time out, a lack extra late, but let's give it another chance to include into your play. And then here is the favorite, number 4, Glitter in the Air, Dean Cannemeyer, Anton Marcus on board. This horse has been placed a few times. Last time out, went to the front, but got run out of it. I'm not sure how they're going to do it today. They're going to sit a little bit and then run on, or what the plan is going to be. So that brings us to the end of our preview for today, the 2 race meetings, Greyville and Kenilworth. I do hope I could point in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.